Hello and welcome to another episode of the LTA Report. I'm Cloud, joined by Marin as usual, and we just get right into it. We just talk about the LTA because that's what we're here to do. Playoffs happened. The conference, what the cross conference started.
Cross conference split. The split one cross conference playoffs.
Okay, split one cross conference playoffs. Whatever. That's a mouthful. North versus South happened, and unsurprisingly, the North won. Maybe to some people's surprise, it was like an 8-1 match score or game score, but 4-0.
Damn you, Team Liquid. We could have had the 8-0.
Thank you, Team, more than Team Liquid, honestly.
Thanks, Mr. Umpty.
He just wanted more excitement for the fans, I respect it. Yeah, we let's just go down the games. The first game was Pain versus 100, right? Was that the first one? Or was it Lev?
Yes, that's what kicked us off. Pain 100.
Okay. Obviously Pain had like their macro woes. Their early games were relatively good. I mean, they were winning both early games. They were winning like most of game 2. It was Titan like walking a little bit too far forward, trying to catch the like low HP to was it Vi and Kaisa, right? They were both like super low HP. He ease like with no vision, team gets aced and they lose the game. But I mean, honestly, that game should have been won. Personally, my takeaways were like, okay, I guess the South aren't that far away from the North. Like maybe away from like the northern top 2, top 3 teams, like the FlyQuest, FlyQuest Cloud9. I think right now are like definitive top 2 teams. They look the best. Let's maybe in terms of game score, in terms of positioning, maybe
David
not.
will
But
disagree with you on that one.
I mean, dude, we saw. If you watched,
I really hope he's in chat. I really hope David's in chat. David, if you're in chat, pop up.
I'm sorry, but that game 2, you cannot tell me you had a better showing this weekend than Cloud9 and FlyQuest with that game 2, and even the beginning of game 1. Like they were up 2 dragons, they were winning the early game. Like you guys lane swapped on them. You guys had a much better lane swap, and it's just like it clearly you can tell that they have macro. They just haven't like fine tuned it to the level of an A. Like they'll set up like the first 2-3 steps, but then they won't do everything, and so they'll kind of like falter left and right. But when it comes to like skirmishing, like they can outhands us for sure, right? I'm not saying they're better mechanically, but they're equal. They're on par mechanically. Their early games are completely fine. Not talking about Loud because that happened. They're actually like relatively okay-ish teams, and I think with more cross-conference play, they could catch up for sure. But the fact of the matter is, we play them 2 weekends. We're gonna scrim for like 2 weekends against these teams, maybe 1 weekend, and like not again. They're not gonna improve from us right now. At least not this format. Maybe in summer they'll improve, but as of right now, like I don't expect that to increase their level of play. So I was disappointed in 100 Thieves being our first seed. They're supposed to have that pride, like supposed to stomp Pain, show 1 versus 4 what it's really supposed to look like. Our 1 versus 4, their 1 versus 4 was relatively close. I was hoping, like the R1 would just absolutely stomp, and that's not what happened. 100 Thieves kind of showed that they fight everything, win or lose, and they came up tails a lot. It's still enough for them to win, and a win is a win, but I would have liked for that to be a statement game, and it doesn't bode well for them playing against FlyQuest. I'll let you take your take on the Lev versus Fly game.
Again, Lev Fly or 100 Thieves?
Oh yeah, if you have something to add for the 100 Thieves, you can go ahead, but I don't want to stick too much time on like games that happened.
Yeah. As 100 Thieves, I just think this is like currently their level. I think they will play up and down to opponents. I think they're still trying to find like the improvement, and I don't think this is the split to do it. I think you just needed to solidify yourself as amongst the top 4, because there was like the conversation of, is Shopify going to be like the 4th team that over 100 Thieves, and that was like pretty quickly like dealt with. So now for 100 Thieves, it's, can you take a game off FlyQuest? Because I'm personally expecting a 2-0. I just don't think stylistically these teams match up at all. And I think Brooklyn specifically, like with these, the one thing, like I can kind of move this into the FlyQuest. I'm noticing the adaptations that they took from their loss to C9, because that's what Brooklyn was talking about in Pros, that they got called out on their draft that they were he was hyping up like when they played Shopify and criticized them for, and like they played against Gen G, and then C9 figured them out. And now you're already seeing those adaptations with like the Volibear and Swain Top and stuff like that. So I do think that it's just going to be too up to handle for 100 Thieves. And I don't think, even if Quid plays out of his mind, I think it's not going to be enough, unfortunately.
I pretty much agree with you. I think Quad is one of those players that can match Quid. I think Inspired is one of those players that can absolutely neutralize River. And once you take out like their biggest strengths, we're not even talking about the fact that Masu and Busio are like the best bot lane that we have, right? So I think the matchup, just stylistically, like you said, FlyQuest, we saw that against Lev. Game one, most boring game of the entire weekend. They're like, look, we literally have to do nothing for 25 minutes. Just make sure that like counter whatever they're doing, not like sit down and be all Shopify and do nothing, literally nothing. No, like, just play the game normally, do nothing proactive or aggressive for 25 minutes, and we will win the game. And that's what they did. And it was very like, it was not pretty. It was not like 8,000 gold lead at 20 minutes or anything like that. It was very plain and boring. And I think they can do the same thing to 100 Thieves. They're much better at their team fight select. 100 Thieves is going to want to fight everything, and FlyQuest aren't going to give them the fights that they don't want. And they're going to take the fights that they want, that they have the numbers advantage and that they have the first move. And I just think 100 Thieves fight too much. Like, I think if they decrease the amount of fighting they do by like 10%, this team would instantly shoot up. But this team fights everything. Like, Sniper will literally be mid lane, walk up top lane, and then immediately TP bot lane without even touching the wave because another fight happened, and like be down like 20, 30 CS and literally get nothing. And again, they're a really good team. I think when you were saying like Shopify are their fourth team, I think they're sixth right now. I think Dignitas is fifth, like a clear fifth, and Shopify are sixth. We'll see what when Seus comes, but as of right now, I'd put 100 Thieves at like a solid 3 to 4 because Team Liquid is faltering as well.
It's tough because I really wish we had kind of reverse bracket because I do want to see C9 100 Thieves in a best of 3. Like, I really like.
You want the revenge?
No, well, yes, because I want to get this like itch off our like backs, like because obviously David's was going to think that they're better. Like, watching this entire split, I think C9 has probably looked the best, and I'm not trying to be biased. I do think they've probably looked the most like clean out of any team. Would I favor them over FlyQuest?
Did you not watch the Loud game? They didn't look clean game too.
Neither did FlyQuest. The second game was a happy game. Like, well, even
in their happy game, they looked a lot better than Cloud9 did in their second game.
A second game was a draft problem. Like, I'm not even trying to like cope. It was like there's even not Volkan talk about this. Like, how could him or Blabber play the game? Sejuani presses R, Nautilus presses R. Like, how is them two like squishy engages like playing the game? I think like C9 got like a really good draft, but they kind of allowed Loud to play like their best, like their best champ, like the best thing that they could like possibly play. It still wasn't enough for Loud. I think C9 I think it was fine. I think it was a fine game. It's just they didn't have to like kind of let flow because they didn't have to do anything. And we have a pretty clean win at the FlyQuest. That being said, I do think we'll have to like step it up again. Like, just because we beat Fly once, I wouldn't be predicting us to beat them a second time. I still think they're favored. Just because they're the type of team you have to keep improving yourself, because they're going to come out with a completely different strategy, and if we don't come up with a creative draft to beat them, then we're not going to beat them. I don't think in just like a standard game where everyone knows their stuff we'll beat Fly. We have to come out like we did in Game 3, completely left field, like Talia dive bomb comp. That, yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, because you still have to play Team Liquid. And, going into the fourth matchup that happened, Team Liquid
I have standards. If we lose to this iteration of Team Liquid, I would be disappointed.
What if Team Liquid looked
if the
10
team
times
okay,
better?
if they look better, they are immediately the second best team in the league. Like, let's not even kid ourselves. They're a lot better than 100 Thieves. They're a lot better than C9. Because I don't think C9 is the finished article yet, and I still think we're pretty good. Like, we're not like there yet. I wish this was a longer split so we could actually see the growth, because we're already like, if Team Liquid are still sucking, we beat FlyQuest, but we haven't really had like any adversity really. So like, we'd immediately be going into a finals after playing what, a Lion, Loud, one game against the 100 Thieves that was just a seeding, so it wasn't like a tournament progression game, and then a TL that is completely mental booming. So like, I can't even tell the strength of my own team, because our only real test was like best of three wise is FlyQuest,
I mean,
which in some so on.
no, I think that's just a characterization of the fact that the teams don't look that great right now. Because like you're saying, it's not a test, but think about it. You played a best of one with 100. You played a best of three against Fly, and now you're playing against Team Liquid. You played the other top three NA teams. I think you
I
can't
would have
ask for
liked
more of a best
100.
of.
I would no, but I mean, I would have liked a good, solid run up to the final. I would have liked to play the 100 because I'm fully predicting us to 2-0 Team Liquid. But if TL bounce back, because Spawn's in this week, like, if he finally gets his arm around these players and they return to like that Team Liquid, I'm favoring them. I'm sorry, because if that, like, it depends what TL shows up. If it's the TL that we've seen this entire split, I expect nothing less than a 2-0. Because 100 Thieves should have 2-0'd them. And I think, like, stylistically, we're looking a lot cleaner than them. So I expect nothing less than a 2-0 if they are like staying relative to like how they're doing. And I do expect us to kind of shake off the Loud series. It was a whatever series. We was never in any danger of ever losing.
It's kind of what I told you. Like Loud can have like a 6,000 gold lead at 10 minutes, and they will still find a way to lose the game. So yeah, you guys really were
Their
never in
only
any danger.
kills were like nothing burger kills. Like,
I mean,
they
wasn't it
didn't
just
progress anything.
Loki dying over
It
and
was
over again?
one. No, it was like he died once, but
Really?
he
I thought he died multiple times. He
yeah
died bot
yeah.
lane. He died by the Arakan and top lane as well. Like he died a couple times.
Uh, I think he got out the. Oh no. So that was when he sent his. I thought he was first time in play. I'm not gonna lie. Like, not even to just like cuss him, because like I absolutely love him. It looked like this was kind of an experiment like pick. Don't think we'll be seeing that for a while, but sorry, I've completely lost track. What was the like point we was talking about?
No, we were just talking about how
Oh, Loud.
look.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. Their kills were kind of at points in the game where they couldn't progress anything. There was no objective to take. They couldn't push the
No, no,
turret.
no, no. Both games. At first Herald, you guys lost 2 lives to Loud.
Oh no, sure. I mean in that game too.
In game two, same thing. You guys lost the first 3 grubs.
Sure, but what was Loud progressing with like those grubs? What were they getting out? Like, okay, they got the grubs,
They
fine.
got 2
But they could
kills and grubs.
they
Like,
they no, I mean, like, they never was able to progress anything with those grubs. Like, they
well,
couldn't even
yes,
touch our
they're a
towers.
worse team, sure, but like the fact of the matter is, when you guys came to both objectives, you lost in like your early objectives. And I think Blabber in his press conference said like, "Hey, we won these games. We didn't really expect to lose. This is the expected result, but like we're not that happy with how we played."
No, I I completely agree, but I'm not fussed by it. Like, even 100 Thieves, I know you're saying like it's not a good look. Like, we'll see how they're looking at FlyQuest. If it's like 20-minute stomps, then okay, like it kind of has more weight. But like,
Just to be clear, I don't think 100 Thieves are going to lose in 20 minutes. I think 100 Thieves are going to keep it scrappy, but come 30 minutes, like the game is going to be in FlyQuest's hands. That's my prediction. I think like when Atakan is spawning, when Baron is spawning, when like these big objectives are spawning, and Hundred Thieves have
Mm.
to come into these fights, that's when FlyQuest have 2 items on their carries. They have the positioning, they have the vision. I think that's when like we'll really see the dichotomy between the play styles.
Yeah. I. What type of TL do you think shows up?
Well, historically speaking, by historically I mean this entire split, besides the 2-0 versus Dig, and even then that 2-0 versus Dig was a little shaky, but I think that was like their best look. We've seen a Team Liquid that like is inconsistent. We've seen APA like not play mechanically great. There are like 3 or 4 Azir alts in that. What game was that where they missed like Azir alt over and over and over? Was it the one against? It wasn't 100. I don't remember. Maybe it was against. Oh, it was against FlyQuest, wasn't it? Regardless, he was
Yeah.
playing Azir. His Azir was not great. He kept missing his like Azir shuffles. I think Umti is one of those players that I have all faith that he's going to come back. I screenshotted what Team Liquid often do AMAs on their Discord and on Reddit,
Yep.
and Spawn was asked by I want to give credit by Zan Jackson. He said, another question. I assume you have seen the community's thoughts on Umti. I want to get your overall thoughts, whatever, about Umti, right? And he says, I think I already answered this. Yes, he has like multiple times, but I mean, not everybody sees the question. That's why he gets it over and over. When we play poorly, we look internally for feedback, not externally. Very different than the first time he answered this question, by the way. Fans are good at picking up who is playing badly, but most of the time don't know why they are. So he's not saying that Umti isn't playing bad. We'll always own our performances, good and bad. All I ask is patience with any player whilst they wear a Team Liquid Honda jersey. I like what he said, but um, it's clearly something that Team Liquid have recognized that Umti isn't playing well. The rumors, like not the rumors, but the fact that River overheard the Koreans kind of flaming each other. I think they were flaming Umti, if I'm not mistaken, like in the bathroom between games. It doesn't. It makes you a little worried that maybe he won't come back. But again, I think Umti is like one of those players that just has a solid mental to be losing for years and years and years and continue to play. So I'm personally like optimistic that Umti plays well. I don't think that happens tomorrow or this weekend. I don't think Umti suddenly turns back into like spring split finals form Umti. I don't think that happens. I think what ends up
Mm.
happening is it's going to look game 1 is going to look really Team Liquid favored. They might even win game 1. Game 2 is going to be relatively close, and then the mechanical errors are going to start to show up. The like laning, the team fighting problems, like not being on the same page. Impact might have a bad like a game or two, and then you'll win that game 2, and then game 3 is not even going to look close. It's going to look like Team Liquid are defeated. It's going to be Yon against the world, and it's like this isn't 2015. You can't just 1v5 anymore, and you guys are going to take the series. I wouldn't be surprised that it goes that way. I would be very surprised if Team Liquid comes back and looks like Team Liquid of spring and summer and just like take control of the game from minute 1 and 2-0 you guys. Like I would be very surprised if they make that comeback just because Spawn came back. But it's
Um,
always a possibility, right? I mean,
if Spawn wasn't here, like I would have absolutely like no fear whatsoever, and I wouldn't call it fear, but a little bit of trepidation. Um, it's unpredictable. I am not going to comfortably say, okay, we're going to smash the living daylights out of TL2 because that'd be me overselling like my team.
mm-hmm.
I think like if you want to say that FlyQuest has looked a little bit cleaner, sure, like that's fine because I still think we're on our own journey, and I'm not immediately going to set the expectations that we should be beating FlyQuest. Like, if you would have told me in Split 1, you would have beaten both FlyQuest and TL in a best of 3 to, like, progress to finals, like, I would have snapped your hand off because I thought we were finishing 3rd or 4th. Like, it's crazy how quickly things have changed, and I think this is a detriment to this absolutely awful format. I don't like it. I don't think we have a good gauge. I would have liked to have seen this TL progress week on week to see if they're getting worse, or is it like when Spawn gets back, are they starting to ramp up again to the team that could we know? Same with 100 Thieves. Where is their level at week to week? I think that's the only and with Seedine, we don't really know
Mm-hmm.
because like so we make finals. We're suddenly top two when we didn't beat 100 Thieves in a best of three to make it, and obviously, like, you can't always help shape the my glasses steamed up. You can't
The
shape the
bracket,
playoff
yeah.
bracket, but like you don't really get these tests. Like we've hardly been tested, and like if TL are the same mental boom, then it's going to be like a little upsetting because I would probably predict a FlyQuest like grand finals win in a best of five. I think that's probably a stretch. A best of three, sure. I think we've already proven we're more than good enough to like adapt then. But best of five, you're like really pushing the boat.
No, I think that's relatively fair. Even as a Cloud9 fan, I think you played all the cards that you were dealt. You lost one best of one. You beat FlyQuest in the best of three when no one expected you to win. Now I think more people are going to expect Cloud9 to win than Team Liquid, but you beat them as well. You make it to the grand finals. You playing 100 or FlyQuest. I mean, like you did what you needed to do, and
Yeah.
it's not like NRG where they didn't beat a single like Eastern team. Like no, you guys actually beat FlyQuest, right? You actually beat one of the top dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos to you guys for doing that. Do you want to
And like
pivot? Oh, sorry, you have something to say?
I was just gonna say like, and I don't want to take this away from TL because I do think if they show up on their day, then we've got a really good series. But it just feels a bit lame that we're if it's the same mental boom team, then that is going to be a tour. Like even if it looks a bit sloppy from us, because we're not the polished Oracle yet, and like we need to. I think people need to understand that. And I'm not trying to like cope for if we do lose to TL because that they have an opportunity to return back to form TL. So like I'm not gonna count them out yet.
I don't think Spawn magically like people are forgetting that Spawn is not physically there, but he is actively like living NA hours and constantly on like Discord with them on calls and talking to them and reviews and stuff like that. He's just not there in the office. Now I think like there is a difference between being remote and not remote, but at the end of the day, I
Mhm.
don't think him coming in 4 days before, like probably 3 days of scrim completely and entirely jet lagged Spawn is gonna come and like suddenly change everything. I doubt that. Give
The
him a
one
month,
thing
sure.
I'll
Give him
say
three
is
days. Come on, nah.
like we don't truly know what Spawn's like as a coach behind the scenes if he's like a disciplinarian. Like it could be, and I really don't want to like, disrespect Swiffer, but it could genuinely be like the teacher substitute teacher type thing where the second Spawn gets back in the room, it's all business. Um, yes, he's there remote, but it's so much different from being able to like mid series just be able to literally pull a like Umpty to the side, put an arm around him, and like calm him down. Because the one thing I will say about Umpty, he's the reason TL's early game still is sometimes pretty clean. It's just the mid and end games where it's a big problem.
Yeah. And overall, he's looked better. Like he's made less and less mistakes as time. Like he had his worst series against 100, and then slowly he's been like picking himself back up little by little. He's still making mistakes like that he shouldn't be making, but he's getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, we can move on. We can move on.
Did you want to pivot to the LTA as a product, or did you want to talk about the format? Because I know we kind of touched upon it.
I what do you format?
Okay.
I'm still trying to decide where I land on. Do I want to play Brazil? Do I not want to play Brazil? Um, because I feel like if you're gonna do this merge, you have to do more than just 1 week of best of threes, and then you're like, we're not playing Brazil again until summer. Like, what am I meant to do with that? Because now all it's going to be for the entirety of the year is why is one of these teams getting a world spot over one of our teams who just completely stomped the shit out of them?
Just wait till we lose 2 seeds. Not this year, but eventually. Wait till we lose that second seed. Then it's gonna be a problem.
Like MSI, it is what it is.
I'm actually more pissed about
I,
MSI because at Worlds, normally what
because
happens with
like
CBLOL
in
is
the
they improve.
I'm pretty sure it maybe is on Wiki or the actual LoL Esports article, but they've listed it as like it's called like a juggernaut buy. Like for the second round of playoffs, I believe the first and second, the first seeds from both domestic regions get like what's called a juggernaut buy. Like, I'm sorry, what
They do,
LTA
yeah.
South team is a juggernaut? Like people, I saw, what was it today? I think it was Quid said in an interview that he thinks like Dig would beat all of LTA South.
Maybe not Isurus. I'll give Isurus. I think Isurus are cleaner, but they could beat anyone else like on a given day.
Right. And so like already then, like your system's flawed if they are considerably worse than like our teams. But our teams are losing spots like for like, and it's not their fault. But comparatively, the leagues aren't close.
Well, they're not giving
Like,
them a spot because of competition. They're not getting a juggernaut spot because of like Mark Z said, "Hey, the reason we gave them a guaranteed spot is because otherwise they're not showing up at international tournaments. They're not there yet." And so it's
yeah,
literally a
that
handicap.
is entirely fair. But then we just need to see more games. Like, provide us with more games. Like, I know it's probably still going to be bad, but if you're going to like sell this as like a merger, we need to see more than we're playing one best of three like rounds, because obviously everyone predicted the 8-0 8-1. Okay, like it wasn't like 3 or 2 series was 2-1. It was 3 series were 100,000 wasn't as much of a stomp, but they still in the end handily won. Flyco SC9 like comfortable. TL was the only like shaky one, but even then TL should have 2-0'd. And like Umpty did his very best to make sure that didn't happen. But
You just want more games, okay? that's my
I've
that's
I've
my
rep- I've wrapped my head around like what formats we could do to like just see more games, but I just like props to Riot for making a format so bad in Split One that best of ones is going to hit like crack when it's a weekly competition.
I will say this. I am actually not against the format. I have problems with the format. But overall, for a lock, I'm just considering this like a lock-in tournament, like a very quick 5-week tournament. How like how much gameplay can we realistically expect cross conference and split one
Well, okay, now I'll
in
let you.
five
I'll let you.
weeks? For split two, I agree. The format's like, okay, we're going back to best of one double round robin. Like this sucks. But my main two issues are one, our seeding was best of one instead of best of three, which I can understand the argument of like, hey, it doesn't actually progress you. It's just seeding. Like people don't really care. It's not like an elimination game or a promotion game. It's just like it's like a pretty meaningless. You could just coin toss and no one would complain. I mean, people would, but I can understand that argument. But why are we going to Brazil and playing best of threes? Like either give me double elim best of threes or give me single
Mhm.
it's that's not possible because of like you're only doing 5 weeks and you're
Yeah.
not willing to stream on more days. So give me best of fives. You're really complaining about 2 to 3 extra games per day? Like really? That I don't get. Why are we not doing best of fives?
So like Brion, like okay Brion in
Mhm.
LCK in the LCK Cup played almost double like what like the teams that got eliminated at the start like did just from their um just from their group stage games. And like these were all um the best of three, right? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
group
like the
stage were
group
best of
stage is
three.
best. Right. Like how many games that they played? Like they played double what Disguise did just from a group stage.
What's the total games played for North America? Like, forget when we came to play the South. Like, just the 2 or 3 weeks, I think, or 2.5 weeks that we played in NA. How many games do you think we played?
Gotta be less than. I'd be surprised if we're touching 30.
I counted, if I'm not like before the show, 26. We played
Yeah, like I've always said
26.
40. I thought, no, it's a lot lower than that.
I'm sorry, but like there are teams in the LPL that have played 26 games. There are again, LPL plays the most amount of games. LPL and LCK like play way more, but then even LEC like isn't playing that many games, and they play double the games that we've played. Like they're close to fit. I think their first like double round robin is still more games. So they just get we get the least amount of games, and I just don't know why. If we want to do a quick tournament, just give us best of 5. Give us an opportunity to have more games. Because again, like you said, how many games did Lion play? 5? In their split, they played 5 games. This guy's played 5 games.
Come to think of it, maybe like the math is. This is just like quick round. I'm not even like thinking about it. The old school LCS playoffs, which was like the single elimination best of 5. If you played the maximum amount of games, that is probably more or like very close to the number of maximum games you could probably play in the entirety of Split 1.
Say that again?
So, like, if you played like 3 full 5-game best of 5s, 15 games, right? I'd like to know what is the like how close that number is to like the maximum amount of games you could play in like Split 1.
Oh, even this is like, do you remember? Were you watching back in 2016?
Yeah.
Okay. In 2016, Cloud9 had to go through the gauntlet, and 2015 actually, and Cloud9 played more games in the gauntlet because they all went to 5 games. They reverse swept the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. They won 3-1.
Everyone went to 5 games,
except for the last one. It was 3-1, right?
Yeah.
They played more games in the gauntlet in a week than they did in the entire split, and we have only gotten worse.
That's what I mean. Like, how? Like, maybe if you want to do the quick maths, like, how many games is the maximum like a team can play this split?
I mean, let's pretend that FlyQuest are the ones that are. Let's say Cloud9 are going to win, right? Cloud9 played the maximum number. Actually, FlyQuest, because they went down, so they played more games, right? FlyQuest, the maximum number is they played 2-1, right? They won their first game 2-1. That's 3 games. Then the next time they lost 2-1. That's 6 games. Then the next game they won 2-1. That's 9 games. Played a tiebreaker. That's 10. 10 on the north side. Then coming down, they can do 2-1, 2-1, right? Those are another 6 games. So that's 16. And then the finals can go 5 games. So they can play 21 games maximum. Again, some teams in LPL are playing more.
You used to play 18 games in a regular season back in the day.
Without reaching finals, without even making it into playoffs, yeah.
You were playing 18 and like, why are we suddenly going the Valorant route of we are withholding the product? Because I think that's a big problem with sorry, I was just reading the comment in.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's a big problem with Valorant is that people just want to see more of the product. We see so little of it.
I agree.
And like, sure, like I feel the 2021 like format was rough, where I felt there was too much like going on, like with the combined splits, and we were doing like it was like a triple round robin and something stupid like that. It was a mess, but if I had to say like would I want this format to return for next year, I'd say yes, but make it domestic only and not cross conference.
Well, you can't
have another like we don't need. You could just seed it for playoffs. So like even if let's say Disguised dropped out their first 2 series, right? Then they're 8th in the like their 8th seed and like just do like what COD does.
Oh, like a 16 game team bracket.
So it's essentially kind of like that, but like basically even the teams that are like fucking no wins they are rock bottom of the seeding for like playoffs. So they immediately start in the lower bracket. You could easily do that with domestic.
It
So
wouldn't be
like the
5
team still
weeks. That's the thing. They would have to increase the amount of weeks, which means they have to increase more money paid, which is stuff that's not in their budget. Like I agree with you that there are ways of like game days that would make a better format, but under the constraints of we have 5 weeks, not even like literally 4 weeks and a half week because we only played Sunday that one week. What do you do?
don't merge with Brazil in the first place. That's what I would do.
Well, then you have to kill NA because NA it needed something to prop it up, right? It looked too bad. And now we're gonna look at split one. Look, our peak
Well, it looked
viewership
too
was like
bad because like
300,000. Like we're chilling.
that was just a lazy marketing to some degree. That is another complete convo, but that and teams still doing nothing,
I
like
mean, we
it's
can
hilarious to me.
transition to product because we are kind of talking about the product.
Mm-hmm. Uh, do we want to start with like the like quick glance like stat I like looked at when like just before this show started?
Sure, you said you had a interesting stat.
So could be wrong. Like I only specifically am looking at YouTube, but Cloud9, at least on the first look, have more content than the top 40 like ever top 4 teams combined. Team Liquid have done like 3 or 4 100 Thieves. I think I've done the second most, but
I don't
and
think
then
it does
Flyquist is like
second moves. Oh, in terms of top four, yes.
yeah, and then FlyQuest have done like 3 or 4. It's an absolute piss take because these are teams you need to be like propping up. And don't get me wrong, like Team Liquid have been active on the Twitter trying to get involved in like the Brazilian scene. I know FlyQuest are active on the socials. They just don't do any YouTube content,
They actually
which
do interviews with their
really
players after every game. They just don't
like
post it
that's what
on
I mean. Like
YouTube.
that's what I was saying specifically on like YouTube. Like, and I think it's a missed opportunity like with like YouTube because having a C9 video like specifically as a fan, having a C9 video every other day to watch is like such a breath of fresh air. And the one thing that actually made me so sold on them this year is I thought they wasn't going to do like one of their podcasts during the Brazilian time, and then they got Emily Rand and Raz on. I was like you've like I thought we wasn't going to get anything, and like you've kept me in, and that's one of their most viewed videos this season.
They found a way to make content even when the players weren't. Oh my god, who would have thought there were
Who
other
would have
ways of
thought
making
just you
content?
get people that are very good at talking to just it was basically like a budget dive episode.
Yeah, it was a little more like nuanced because it was about Cloud9 and whatnot. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
When you got 2 very good talkers, it's such an easy like job being the host there.
Raz really invigorated. Like Raz, sometimes there was this one I don't even remember anymore, but he had like this opinion, and I was like, "What is this opinion? Like, where did you get this from, and why do you hold it?" I don't even remember, but I was just like so frustrated by it, which is good. That's what you want in like a podcast. Like you say the opinions, and people disagree. Sure.
I think it was the booing topic.
Oh yes, you know me so well, dude. How can you? Oh, I don't even. Has he never attended a sport? Does he not know what fandom looks like? Like what?
So like, let me say this: like, it depends on what type of slurs Vulcan was talking about. If it's racial slurs, absolutely not. Like that should be like they should be kicked out. But like shouting like FUC9, I am absolutely for that.
Same. Like booing a team, saying stuff like that. I'm fine. The racial slurs maybe taking it a little too far, but I mean, come on, man.
Absolutely,
You
like
don't want the teams
definitely,
to
you
even
can't
show that they're
be
passionate about their teams. Like we might as well
right.
just be quiet. Like ah, man.
Like I, for once, had no like qualms with there being like 99% loud fans in that arena, and then a couple of C9 fans. Like I wasn't like, oh, why aren't the Cloud9 fans showing up? Well, you're never getting in.
You're never
And
getting
like, good
in.
luck. Good luck wearing a C9 jersey in that building.
Yeah, it was nice. There was actually one person who was like, she had a poster that said, "I've been a C9 fan since like 2014 or 2013, something like that."
It's maybe like the fitness content creator I've seen on like the one of the Brazilian. Like shout out to them. Like I'm so sorry for forgetting your name, but yeah, there's like so many random ones that are like, oh, I've been a C9 fan for like years, and we have so many Brazilian accounts.
You even
Like,
changed your
and
League of Legends account to Cloud You, which is like Cloud in Portuguese, right?
yeah, and most of our tweets are like in Brazilian. It's pretty like or Portuguese. Sorry, it's pretty. You'll be able to tell me which language it was, but it's just pretty funny. And then we had the TCK, which is our Brazilian content creator, co-streaming the game. He's never watched League of Legends in his life.
Really?
Yeah, he's
That's
a
funny.
Valorant. He's a Valorant guy.
Oh,
He watches
okay.
all of it. Like we brought him specifically for Valorant. Um,
Yeah, I
the
think
only
Cloud9
reason
do.
you'd need it to start earlier is so that the players can adjust to the time zones, because apparently sleeping is not an option for North American pros.
I'm sorry, it's 5 hours. Like I don't know. As someone who's like
I don't
traveled a
know.
lot when they were
Whenever,
younger and like
like, literally, when I understand, um, I understand the life because like you're literally spoon fed like, everything. Like you have like they are sorting out all of your travel. You don't have to sort out a thing. But like when I got to New York, I just stayed up to get adjusted to like because we landed and then it was like 10 p.m. But like I was absolutely like shattered. But I needed to stay up to just get like adjusted to the time zone.
yeah, I mean, same thing. I went to Korea, like it literally took me 1 day to adjust. And I'm like a seasoned veteran when it comes to traveling, so like I can do it
Yeah, same.
relatively
It's
easily.
like
But just the fact that they were like, "Oh, like I couldn't even play the game because I was so
I've been to
tired." I'm like,
America like 6 times now, so like the time zone adjustment thing, it takes me like a day and then I'm good to go.
yeah.
It's like the first sleep, you don't really get a lot of sleep, and then after that, it's like smooth sailing.
Yeah, just get some coffee and stuff and you'll be fine.
I will never drink that stuff in my life.
Same, I don't drink coffee either.
SLJ, I know you. You're from David's Discord and the C9 one.
Do you drink tea?
Is that a stereotype question or
No, I'm
do?
trying to
Yes, I
see
do
if you
drink.
drink any caffeine. Like I'm trying to find where you're most people have some sort of caffeine in their system.
uh, so for I normally drink like tea, but if it's like a dinner or like supper, I don't know what you call it in the states. Dinner, I assume. But like I'll probably have like a soda drink.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you get caffeine from other sources.
yeah.
So why are you so against coffee?
I just don't like the taste. Don't like the
Oh,
smell.
okay. I mean,
The smell genuinely gives me a headache.
interesting. Is that a stereotype? No, I just uh yeah, I think the TLDR, like for me personally, I think the format is fine. Just add some more games. Split 2 format, I don't want Split 2 to start. I might not even do interviews like the beginning of the split. Like it's disappointing to go back to best of ones. I'll be honest. Like we're complaining we don't have best of fives and we're gonna go back to best of ones. It's gonna suck. And guess what? They're definitely not marketing it. Like, I bet you, as soon as LTA ends next weekend, how much effort is LTA North going to do to like show off that, hey, come watch us at first stand? And then when we're eliminated, how much effort are they going to like show, hey, we're going to be at like April, right? April 5th or something is when we start again. Like, how much
I know
of
that.
that is going to happen? I don't know. I'm hoping that teams, like you said, teams need to do more. The players, like, I feel like FlyQuest, Whippo does a lot, like between his Twitch and his YouTube. Like, he's uploaded on YouTube, he streams. Busio streams a lot as well. Like, Busio's been streaming. I think those are the two main ones. I think on Soup, I've seen Quad a couple times. So I think I don't
Hmm.
follow too many Korean streamers, but maybe he's streaming. Like, I've noticed that he's been streaming. We just need more people to stream and make content and like make people fans of the players so that they then watch the team. Like that's it's kind of
I think
sad that
there was
Double
like
Lift's
a
OQ
perfect
team can have
example.
more viewership. We'll have more people tuning in, than some other teams like Disguise than Shopify because they have players that have created brands for themselves and we don't.
I think Cinema's like a really good example because they prior to their prior to them flying out, like they did the podcast specifically, like they had the Brazilian flag on there. You knew that they're preparing for like to come watch us in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
And then they had like the promotional tweet saying like come watch Blabber play against I forgot his name. Wiz.
Wiz,
I
yeah.
think they did like the jersey swap.
Yeah.
And like it's just been so nice to like have content from this team because I feel like for a while it was like pretty dead. But like they have made like a sincere effort to like improve.
Yeah. Cloud9 are taking it seriously. The players are taking it seriously. I feel like FlyQuest is also taking it seriously. They're focused on other platforms like Twitter. Whereas I think like YouTube is the place to be. Like Twitter and Twitch, right? I think like you probably want to get people onto YouTube because that's where discoverability is like at its
Have
maximum, in my
you
opinion.
you may notice already. Can you guess how many tweets in his entire career Yon has made?
His entire career, I don't know, like 30? 5? Oh my god. Is that
It's
including
like five,
retweets?
and one of them, I think it's like six overall, and one of them is a retweet, and maybe even more. I think he may actually have like 1 to 2 like actual his tweets, and like
Yeah.
you're meant to be our future. You gotta be doing a little more. And I know, like our players don't tweet a lot, but like Glover always tweets after games. Vulcan most of the time. They're pretty like active, but come on, you've got to be doing more than 5.
And like I will say this, if you don't have players that are doing it, get someone who does. Look at what Meteos is doing. He's constantly creating content for the Cloud9 team. Just get someone. If you really are just like against the idea of your players doing anything except playing solo queue and practicing and scrimming, get a content creator on your team that is focused solely on your League of Legends and have
Yeah,
him be like the cornerstone that people want to watch and like become fans through him. Have him make videos every single day with the players, about the players, with other like with other casters and analysts, and like just do stuff.
like I don't know if the bridge has been like burned. Like I don't know like the angle, but like I wish Sneaky was more involved with the org still. I think that would have been like a. I know he's kind of fallen off in terms of viewership. Like he used to be like pretty high each stream,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's like a couple of K here and there. But I
Which
really
is
wish
more
he was
than
still like,
most LTA players, by the way. But yeah,
which is scary because like I'm
yeah.
saying Sneaky's fallen off, but LTA players don't even get that. Um, yeah, I just wish he was like doing more.
I don't even know if he's technically still part of Cloud9, is he?
As for, like, so do you remember when we had like a competitive ruling against us because we were using like we were going like the Bjergsen route? So do you remember this where we gave like a lot of our like
Yes, yes,
that
yes. And he had
roster
to
like
sell it. Yeah,
equity?
equity. Yeah.
Like I don't know if Sneaky probably had to sell his, but it wouldn't
Well,
surprise me
no,
if he
didn't he
was.
just leave the team at that? Wasn't that end of 2019? And like he was just like, well, I'm not playing in 2020, so I'm just not selling it.
That's the thing. Maybe he still like has, but like
Equity?
I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
not an expert on that, but
I don't think
like
about that.
he doesn't really affiliate himself with. He has appeared like doing the old like meet and greet with like, C9.
Yeah,
But
I've seen that.
I feel like his is like a missed opportunity because like Sneaky left. He was such a big part of our organization. Like he was one of the faces.
He was the only
Um,
lasting face.
right. Like if not the face for the
Yeah.
org. Like as like he embodied what C9 was, and then as soon as he left, hardly heard from him or the organization about like Sneaky. Because like when you thought of Sneaky, you thought of C9. When you thought of C9, you thought of Sneaky.
I think they left not on amicable. English is hard. Not on great terms. From
Amicable.
what amicable. There we go. From what I
Yeah.
remember, like
Yeah,
he
it
kind of
seemed a
hinted that
little
world
bit
away,
like,
and Licorice was really pissed at him, and Siki was like, "What the hell? You're getting rid of me?" And yeah,
based on how it ended, like hindsight's wonderful, but like kind of wish you chose the sneaky route in some ways. Because then like now long term you'd still have that like favorable face.
I think
Just,
Jack would probably disagree with that. I think it'd be like we won like 4 championships after that, and the first
well,
one happened as soon as we got rid of Sneaky and got Sven. So
true, true. I was more thinking about like the licorice portion of it because he kind of fell off, didn't he?
he did. And you probably got a good couple bucks when sending him to FlyQuest. So
Thanks, Mr. Flyquest. That I was when we was doing those package deals.
dude, you guys were so evil. Like you would actually just give them
What do you mean
players that they
evil?
didn't want. No, I don't mean evil as in like, oh, you are bad, but I mean just like you guys are so sinister, like ripping people off left and right, and they're just like spending money on like,
They were
oh,
dumbasses.
I
No, but
agree,
like
and you were
think
taking
about it.
full
Think
advantage
about
of
it.
it.
Think about it. Like think about it. You just signed the support that went to World Semi-Finals, right? Was kicking
They
the shit
didn't
out
want
of like the
him. They didn't
RNG
want
and
him.
Gen G. Like that, the kicking the shit out of like Gen G, RNG, and like stuff like the Golden Road Uzi team, right? Like and also the top laner that was like the hair to licorice. And like definitely, yeah, okay. That was probably the least desirable part of that package. But the rest of it was like a pretty good deal.
2019 Zazel was not a good deal. Let's be honest. 2019 Zazel and Sneaky were the reason you guys didn't make it out of groups. 2019
Okay,
Sneaky and
no,
Zazel were not
okay,
great.
yes, they had a bad world championship, but they were still pretty good that year. I think the only part that Zazel had bad was when we had to convert to like mages, and this guy couldn't play Lux to save his life. Um, yeah, like I would agree. Like if we would have given him Sneaky and Zazel, I would have said that's a pretty good deal for EG because they were still one of the better bot lanes in the league at the time.
I
The
don't know.
FlyQuest
The
one I
number of
understand. The FlyQuest one
times
I understand more. The FlyQuest one I understand more when we gave him like Palafox and Licorice and who was the other one we gave?
I don't remember.
It wasn't contracts. No, it
No,
was
no, contracts was back in 2017.
mm. I always get upset when I hear his name.
When you remember
When I hear no,
contracts?
when I hear contracts, I yeah.
Why?
This guy, he would even admit this guy fucked his own career so
He said
hard.
that multiple times actually, yeah.
Like he just had to stay and like I would get massive anxiety thinking of I was just in world quarterfinals against the best teams in the world, playing against SKT, like prime SKT, and then I'm 10th in LCS the next year. Like that would hit me. That would freak me out.
Do you know like he said this like recently. He was like, actually,
Yeah,
someone
like I
asked
even
him, pushed
spoke
him. He was like,
when I asked him about this, like he even said like yeah, like hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I shouldn't have left C9.
he want basically what happened was he wanted more money, and he was like, oh, look at all these other players, they're being paid so much, I want more money, I want. And then apparently where that came from was an agent. So if you think about it, he's like this young kid, first year in his like 17 years old, first year in LCS, and like this agent's like, oh, you can get way more money, look at you, you're making it to worlds. And he listens, he's like, hey
Like
Jack, I want more money. He was like, you're off the team.
it's like you like stay humble. Like you had Impact, Jensen, and Sneaky on your team. Just like hold on a little bit. You will get there. This will be your like. This is going to be your team. Like he
He could
really
have
upset
been
me
set
because
up
it was like
Blabber, yeah,
it
like
was like he's been like groomed by like the high era. He was part of the OG C9 era. Like he's being groomed by that specific team, and then he made it onto C9, and then like should have won multiple championships with us.
I don't know about that. You guys didn't win a championship until 2020, so
Well, I predict that we would have like well back when we lost. Even fucking TSM's Path was saying like they were better than us. We shouldn't have lost that finals.
Oh, the
The
2017
Jensen Echo,
Jensen. Yeah, but
the
you had
2017
contracts then.
roster.
Yeah, you had Jensen. Contracts was on that 2017 team.
I'm not going to fault them for Dig having the absolute series of like. If you ever want to look for like an overperformance, like best of five, it was that Dig series where they had like Someday and that was like the biggest overperformance because I was on holiday at the time, the vacation. So we was at Disney, and I thought there is no way I'm going to come back, check my phone because this is back when I was young. I didn't have like data or anything, so I'll come back, check home, see we've won. I look at the phone, it said 3-1 Dig, and I was like, what? And that was back then, like no double elimination. So
Dude, how many championships would have been different if we had double Elam since like 2013?
so in 2018 when we lost three, like, do you remember that crazy that we were first place, lost one best of one, we somehow trickled down to fifth, played Team Liquid, and then we got 3-0.
Got 3-0'd,
We would have
yeah.
came. We would have got to the finals that year.
No,
If we
I
would
think
have went
TSM would have made it
lose
to the finals, actually. I think TSM
in
would have
low
brushed off the
bracket.
3-1 because they lost. They were up 1-0, and then Hakuho picked Thresh 3 games in a row. They refused to ban it, and then literally TSM boomed after that. But I'm pretty sure TSM were like second. It was like 100 Thieves in the regular season. It was 100 Thieves,
Echo Fox was second.
Echo Fox, and then TSM. That's right, because TSM third place. Yeah.
We were first. We were first the entire split, and then we lost. I get it was, but we were first the entire split. Lost to the 10th place FlyQuest team. Somehow, it caused like a rippling effect where 6 teams were in a
Yeah, it was so crazy. Yeah.
like in a playoff, like mini playoffs, and then we lost all that. We mentally boomed that day.
Yeah, weren't there 5 tiebreaker games or something crazy like that?
Yes, we played an entire playoff bracket to decide a playoff seeding.
Yeah, it all comes back to TSM. Absolutely, Paul.
Like in which I think that was actually voted the closest best of 5 3-0 I've ever seen.
The one against Liquid?
Because Sneaky was playing out of his mind. He played Ezreal like 2-3 games, and he was like popping off trying to hard carry us. We couldn't get over the finish line any of those games. The 2019 spring where TSM got finals, where we got
reverse swept you guys. Yeah, that would have been crazy. Actually, I'm pretty sure you guys would have won the rematch.
Yeah, no, because I have this image like very clear in my head. Sneaky was on Jinx, turbo fed, walks up mid for no reason, gets killed, and then the second fight, Bjergsen does this some absolute madness
on a Kali,
and then
right?
we get reverse swept. Yeah, because Sneaky was like turbo fed on Jinx, and he got caught.
That was. I also think Team Liquid would not have won 2019 spring. I think Cloud9 would have beaten them. I think TSM, if they played another series, would have beaten. Bjergsen was playing like the best player, like legitimately. He was gapping everybody. The fact that he even got them to that finals, that was one of his best individual splits we've seen since 2014. He was playing out of his mind. And then like Sven had to do his thing, but it is what it is.
I like that, Paul. Every time the product talk starts, we eventually get back to TSM.
Back in the good old days. I think we've talked enough though. Do you have any other like topics you want to hit?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Did you watch the Hama Life Damwon game?
I watched the last game.
Okay, I predicted it was going to go to 5.
That last fight was insane. Zeus.
Yeah, I predicted it was going to go to 5. I predicted Hama was going to win, and they did. But I thought Damwon were like
to be good.
What's up?
It's nice for Damwon to be good. Yeah. It's nice for Damwon to be like good.
I thought they were favorites. Honestly, I thought they were the favorites to win. I thought they were going to like I thought Hanwha apparently in the books like Hanwha was favorites, which I think wasn't that smart. I think DK just looked better, but Hanwha just have this poise about them, man. They should have lost that game 5. They were down so much, and I was like, no, we're gonna lose. Same thing against T1. They were literally at our Nexus turrets. They took one, and it was like Peanut on a Mumu saving the game, and they actually won that game. I think Game 5 versus Gen G was like pretty like Thanos draft. Like it was even though Gen G played the early game well, it was like, yeah, you're not gonna win that. Same thing but yeah, game 5 versus Damwon, I thought we were losing, and then we didn't. So
the other thing, G2 Fnatic.
Fnatic.
One of my close friends who's a big Fnatic fan called this before the split even started. He says we'll finish first place and then we will lose to G2 in playoffs because that's what happens every year.
I predicted Fnatic were gonna win the split. I was like, this is the split Fnatic win. I think like this is finally their time. Upset and Upset and Mickey are gonna give them their first LEC championship. It's gonna be
Mickey's
great.
so good, man. He's so good.
2-0 nonetheless. Dude, they should have won that game one. That game one was so won, by the way. Like 25 minutes into the game, you look at it, you're like, okay, we're gonna go next. And then like 35 minutes in the game, it's like, wait, G2 have a lead and they're winning every team, but what's going on?
In some ways, that's why I'm glad like LTA or LCS has always been like kind of flip floppy in like, who wins. Because I would get so bored of just seeing the same team win over and over again.
Yeah, and then Mad Lions, dude, Mad Lion Koi, Casey kind of like gapped them. My God.
My hate watch was in prime time. That I ain't saying anything. If I speak, big trouble.
If I speak big trouble. Yeah, I thought the Fnatic G2 series, at least game one was pretty fun. Like the Mad Lion Koi series was not in KC, like it was not fun to watch. It was like kind of sad.
Did you see the thing that Miffy said about JoJo?
I watched the thing, but what thing specifically are you talking about? Where he
Where
didn't
he
want
was
to play
like,
like certain champions?
JoJo only wanted to play Yone or Silas. And
Yeah, I
then
saw that.
so every game we were first picking one of those two champions, and then the teams would just know how to play around it. So like, JoJo was completely useless. I saw that.
I saw that too. You must have felt so vindicated.
Wait until the year's out, and then I'll tell you if I'm like vindicated or not.
All right, all right. I think those are three worlds team. Like, actually in G2 it's kind of in EU it's kind of hard because you have like Mad Lions, KC, G2, and
I don't
Fnatic
think.
all fighting for like the world spots,
I
right?
think it'll. I think it'll be KC that gets the third seed.
Over Mad Lions. Interesting.
Well, if JoJo finishes fourth again,
I kind of want
well
to see
then,
JoJo at MSI. Just
I want to see us at MSI. I want to see us play him.
exactly. I want to see Cloud9 and JoJo.
I would like to see like a 5-man tower dive at JoJo.
Level 1. Just go start like the fastest the fastest level 1 kill, if I'm not mistaken, was Team Liquid against Jizuke. Literally, they 5-man walked.
No. It was CLG. Do you remember they literally walked all down mid and then
Oh, was it
they
CLG
flashed
versus
Nautilus
Jizuke?
hooked? Yeah, it's CLG. It
Yeah,
was
but
like
they
the
flashed
flash shot.
Nautilus hooked. Yeah, they flashed Nautilus hooked. They killed him level. Like that's what I want to see them do to JoJo. Just like literally send 5 men mid because they know he's gonna walk up level 1 and just like all flash on him and kill him.
Nothing would make me happier.
Well, with that being said, yeah, this is a pretty good episode. I think got through stuff relatively quickly, and we'll see you guys next week. After
Well,
we
by this
crown
time
our
next
champion.
week, we'll have our LTA champions.
Can you believe it? 5 weeks, man. 5 weeks of gameplay.
Okay. So I assume this is going to be a pretty straightforward prediction, but do you think FlyQuest is winning it all?
Yeah. The way they look right now, I think so.
I'm going to say FlyQuest and C9 2-0 their series, and then FlyQuest wins 3-1 in finals.
You're not even gonna give Cloud9 2 games?
I think. No.
Okay,
I
I was
think.
gonna go
I think
3-0. I think they learned from their mistakes and they're not gonna lose again.
all I want is for C9 to like just by worlds make a land, because I think it's either if you don't win now, like your next opportunity to get into an international tournament is worlds, unless they decide that they're going to send the second NA team over a Brazilian team for the Esports World Cup, like because C9 already has like a spot in. So like, unless they do something completely different, tournament wise, there,
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, to send C9 to Esports World Cup just because they're like pretty deep in it.
I think this is their best chance. I think it's actually a better chance than Worlds because I think by Worlds, like Team Liquid could completely like fix their problems. They could also completely
Mm.
collapse, and you guys are the clear second best team. That could happen, but I think this is your best chance when teams are still not like crisp. FlyQuest look like 50% of what they looked like last year. Like they're still not, you know, at it. Team Liquid are collapsing. This is your time.
This is why it's really frustrating me that they've suddenly removed like it's one team, it's one NA team for the next 2 tournaments.
Yeah. Well, technically, it could have
Oh,
been.
one NA team.
It could have
Like
been 0
for
NA teams if we got 0 forward, right?
if that would have happened, we would have closed the league down.
Honestly, we wouldn't have had this LTA report. We'd be like, in
Yeah,
morning of LTA today, there's no LTA report. Like the Duolingo that died, we just have like some sort of meme with the LTA report. It's like,
LTA
please
report
respect.
has died.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, we'll see you guys next week for talking about first stand and what we can expect from our NA teams. I don't think we'll
Mhm.
have known the rest of the regions, but at least we'll know NA and we can kind of prepare and talk us into how NA is going to win first stand.
Yeah, I look forward to it.